Aloha, it's Keegan, and I am on top of the Chateau Fort in the southern French town of Lourdes. You can see the cathedral behind me. That's what I'm talking about in this video. This is a pilgrimage site for Christians and people who honor the Divine Mother energy. That's what this site is about. Divine Mother, and in the form of Mother Mary. There was an apparition of Mother Mary to somebody in a cave here, a grotto, where there's a beautiful spring, and so the waters are considered healing waters, miracle, holy waters coming out from Mother Earth. So it's a beautiful place here in the foothills of the Pyrenees, south of France. It's my first time in this region of the world. It's a very beautiful experience, adventure to be here. And I just want to share some observations, not only this view from the top of the castle, Chateau Fort, but my views about, what I've learned is that they systematically go and build these cathedrals and power spaces. The earth has a natural grid of energy, sort of like the meridians in the body where the subtle energy flows. It helps keep your body healthy. The earth has that, and we call them ley lines, or like in Australia they're called song lines. But there is also another grid structure that's been built on top of that, and it has to do with these Christian sites, churches, and various holy places. They use obelisks, and this is something that's been going on for thousands of years. The construction of these on these power locations, convergence of ley lines, nodes and nulls in the planetary consciousness grid, where subtle energies are flowing across the surface of the earth. They'll put these places to harvest that energy and to basically turn it into a control structure to effectively parasitize the subtle energies of the earth through us as human beings. We are part of the earth, and when they build these churches and they use the feminine principle to serve the patriarchal control structure that's all about dominating the feminine principle, the ability to create life. And it's special that we have this acknowledgement of the divine feminine principle in places like this, where people are actually wanting to come and worship and adore Mother Mary, representative of the goddess. And that's important and it's beautiful. There obviously is a big imbalance in regards to our acknowledgement of Father and Mother God, Goddess, which make together the creation in this universe possible. Holy Trinity is Father, Mother, and Divine Child to give birth to a new generation. That's creation, and that's how it works, not just with humans. But I'm holding up this trying to, I got my little baby Yoda, but I'm trying to keep my face a little shaded. Because that feminine aspect, the shadow, is nurturing, and the sun on my face would be too patriarchal. It would be too much penetrating and burning energy for my delicate face. Those are the principles, light and shadow. We need a balance. And so what I start to describe is how the patriarchal control matrix of basically enslavement is they dominate the feminine principle. And this goes back to, there's so many examples of it. Like, for example, the Vikings wearing these helmets that had horns on them that were representative of that goddess, the horned goddess. Like, if you look at a cow's head with the horns, it looks just like the uterus with the ovaries and the fallopian tubes. That same form and geometry. And I've heard about how if you trace the path of Venus and on a horizon, it will go in that same kind of horn shape. It's very interesting. But what they do is they go and the Vikings take it, and they're masculine, invading and stealing and controlling, and that's what the Holy Roman Empire is. Continuation of that on a global scale. And they went and they built this artificial grid of the churches and the obelisks around the world on the natural grid of consciousness. That's the like convergence of ley lines. Like we have this sacred fountain here coming out of this earth, the sacred spring, and they came. This is a perfect example. They built this cathedral on top of it, and the churches themselves mirror the feminine principle, and the Vatican is an amazing example how it's shaped like the birth canal, and people as they're coming into it to do their adoration, you're going there to discovery, but you're bringing your energy into there and penetrating into the church as the feminine principle, as the brick and mortar representative of the goddess, and basically they harvest your when people go in there and worship, they're taking that spiritual energy that we're emanating as creators. We're giving forth this emanation of this, and our connection to divine energy is coming through us, and they're taking that and putting it into this artificial control matrix. And so it's been going on for a long time. It's time for it to shift and change. And I've just come from a gathering with Christoph Melchizedek and the Neo-Shamanic Society, who Christoph has also organized this group called the Guardian Alliance, where people are joining in meditation to basically on a spiritual plane systematically dismantle and bring healing and love to this artificial control matrix that's in place. So not only in sacred sites, like they recently, just a few weeks ago, went to the Vatican, but also at the various governmental places, which have also been systematically built in spaces to give power to that system. It's a parasitic system, and it doesn't honor life. And so as creators ourselves, and stepping into our power, remembering our connection to that Divine Mother and our connection to the earth, which sustains us, and wanting to come back into balance and harmony and sacred reciprocity with the environment, and acknowledging of the Divine Mother, Father, and Mother God, and Mother Goddess and Father God together in harmony. We with the Guardians and other groups like this, there's another one called if you go to Gaia, it was an amazing streaming platform, and look at the video called Journey of Remembering with Argentinian guy Matias de Stefano. He's been doing a similar thing, and it's all about bringing healing to the planet, and that's also what my journey has been about, learning about regenerative agriculture, traveling around the world, and propagating the good energies that I am working with on a subtle level, but then also in the practical, in the world of the mundane, working with agriculture and with building community, how and when I am able to. Global connectedness, but not from a centralized control standpoint like the Agenda 2030 is trying to achieve, but from a distributed, community-oriented, community-driven, self-organizing kind of experience, where it's not patriarchal. One person is in charge, and there's a ranking all below them that bring up power up to the top of the pyramid, and the CEO gets all the money, and so forth like that. Because that is, as we can see, we're parasitizing Mother Earth, And when we bring consciousness and we breathe into our own balanced relationship between the divine masculine and feminine within, or our father, mother, God, then we can start to birth the divine child moment to moment within, and irradiating out from us in something that is a lot more holistic and balanced, and is going to achieve a peace on the earth, which is, why wouldn't you want peace on the earth? So you can enjoy life instead of being threatened by concepts that are trying to invade and parasitize you. So that's my little spiel here from the top of the fortress. It's interesting walking through this place, seeing where it's really, seeing these types of windows where I forget what they're called, where you can shoot arrows through. It just has a slit basically, and it's it's hard not to walk past that and look right through it and imagine myself trying to shoot an arrow and thinking about what the whole to do to defend, and there there's a time and place for that when you're deeply in a system that perpetuates war. But that system is crumbling, and we're breathing within ourselves into every day more and more, learning how we can possibly start to coexist and how we can manifest peace on the earth, and being prayerful and communicative with this divine source of the feminine light, of the feminine energy. Connect with our own tenderness and compassion. That is going to be foundational for us going forward, so that we can really figure out how to manage our communities and our whole entire earth from a standpoint of that balance. So thanks for listening, and this is the journey. This is the quest to find balance within, to promote true health, true well-being, and compassion for all beings, generating more abundance, celebrating diversity, and looking deeply into these invisible structures that lead to the visible structures that our lives are built on. So, some food for thought, and happy digesting, and love to hear what you think. Send me some messages, and let me know what I can look into. And I'm on my way through the south of France. I'm planning to go later this evening on a bus to Portugal, where I plan to work in an eco-village. So very excited about that, and I'll keep you abreast of the changes, and blessings to the Divine Mother, and happy to be here and receive blessings in return. Aloha.